I grew up about 5 minutes from here, from this campus. So I would take a bike to school, cycle, and one day, I was going, and then there was this scooter. Yeah, that's how I would look. So I was turning into a lane very near my father's factory, and a scooter came on the other side, and we had an accident. Small accident, I got a couple of bruises, and a little bit of bleeding here and there. And the scooter chap also fell down, and very soon, you see, this is a very small town, so my father's friends were there, and immediately they all came, and then they, caught hold of the scooter chap, and then said, "How dare you, she's hurt and everything." And in the scuffle, they were trying to, sort of keep him there, but even I wanted to leave, and he too sort of got on his scooter and left. And then, they noticed I had some bruises, so they brought me to JIPMER, to the casualty, and who should we find as the duty doctor over there but the poor scooter chap against whom I had that scuffle. So JIPMER brings back very interesting memories. If you live in Pondicherry, and if you have a college like this, a medical college like this, every parent wants their kid to go to JIPMER. And so my father too wanted me to become a doctor. And but then I, 15 years of age, I was not very particular about doing medicine. I didn't want that rigorous hard work, that back-breaking effort, and then writing that tough exam, and then 5 years of intense killing work, and then you convocate and become a doctor. So my father always used to say, you should have done that. And then fast forward about 25 years, and now I'm married and with 2 kids. And at that point of time, I decided I want to do a PhD in women's workforce participation. So I decided to take up that rigorous hard work, put myself through all kinds of back-breaking, killing work, and then, 5 years of really tough, hard labor. And then I convocate, and then that is me receiving the PhD from the then Gujarat Chief Minister and now Prime Minister of India. So my father, I'm sure, up in the heavens above, he must be laughing and joking with his friends. She could have done this way easier to get to JIPMER. She could have done it, 45 years ago. So again, JIPMER brings back very interesting memories. See, all of us have a role model, and my grandma was my role model. So this work that I do in the space of women's workforce participation, it was largely because of the kind of inspiration that I received from my grandmother. In fact, she was many firsts. She was the first woman in our family to pursue a career, the first woman to rise to the top of her profession, the first woman to actually own and drive a car, and this is, by the way, 1966. And, that's her on the picture over there, and, there again, she is one among a panel of all men, and she was, again, the first woman, and also, she was the first woman in our family to request that a whole body donation be done after she passed away, and we did that right here to JIPMER. So JIPMER brings back very, very fond memories. So she was my role model, and I was a pretty average student at school. But over time, there was this connect that was created in my mind by her, which is that, if you put in low efforts, you'd get low results, and that's kind of an expected outcome. But if you put in low effort, but you get high results, that is for sure luck. But if you put in high efforts and then you get low results, that's probably fate. But then, if you put in high efforts, you would get high results. That success is a natural outcome. So this was kind of drilled into my mind. So I went on to do my BA right here in Pondicherry. I was a gold medalist in English literature, and then I went on to do my MBA, and then got a great job, and then got into my career. But 3 years into my career, I decided to take a break. And then I joined this large statistics of women in India called the second career women, right? And when you become a second career woman, this entire graph kind of changes, because you have all of this stuff that comes and hits you. You have social conditioning, breaks, biases against women. You have all of that stuff which actually tells you that success is a natural outcome only if you are privileged. Which means when you get into that second career space, despite your education, despite the fact that you have some work experience, if you wish to actually make a mark for yourself out in the world, that can only happen if you are privileged. So who is this second career woman, and why should we be concerned about her? The second career woman in India, and I'm sure all of us know one, or have been one, or are married to one, or whose mother is one. A second career woman, somebody who worked previously, someone who pursued a job and then took a break on the altar of motherhood, on the altar of being a wife to an itinerant husband, second career woman in India. She's between about 25 to 40 years of age, 1 to 5 years of break, all locations. She's there everywhere in India. She's omnipresent. She's there in Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 cities, towns. Approximately about 1.5 million women out there who are capable of getting back into the workplace, capable of working, earning, adding to their own families, their community, our country, our nation. That is the second career woman. Now, I must tell you the story. So I had taken that break, and about 3-4 years into the break, I went for an interview. I went for an interview at a cell phone company. This was about 15-20 years ago. So I went for that interview, and the interviewer took a look at my CV, and the CV had a career gap in it. And he was very, very upset. He felt very disappointed. So he called the recruiter who had sent me, and he said, "Why haven't you not given me a regular CV?" He said, "Why haven't you given me a regular CV?" So what is a regular CV? In his mind, what did he mean by a regular CV? He probably meant this. He meant a male with a full-time, stay-at-home, homemaker wife who has no breaks in career and who has no restrictions in working hours. That, ladies and gentlemen, was a regular CV back then, which means that was the CV that was welcome. Those were the kind of profiles that corporate India wanted in their workplace, and that was this. So when I heard this term, this entire term of, who is that candidate? Who is the professional that is welcome into the Indian workplace? Is it only the male? Does it only have to be someone, with a full-time stay-at-home wife? Why is this bias there so strongly? So that meant that if you are talking about only these kinds of profiles being the regular, candidates into the Indian workplace, then you're actually eliminating this entire group of women, the second career women, who are extremely well educated. They're BA, BCom, BBA, MBA, MCom, what have you, different types of educational qualifications, and great soft skills, wonderful soft skills. They are team players, they are inclusive, they have emotional intelligence, they are learnable, they are able to learn even after they've taken the break. This is what research says. These are the qualities of that second career woman. So why should a second career woman not be a regular CV, not be a regular candidate? So that was the question, especially when she is capable of contributing, yes, that's right, 1 lakh crores to the Indian GDP. That is the potential if every second career woman in India were to obtain a working opportunity, an employment opportunity, right? So that moment when this interviewer, said that, you're not a regular CV, and we don't want people like this, and we want people who subscribe to a particular format. That moment was actually the moment that AVTAR, my social enterprise, was born. Because we realized that that was the time when we wanted to change the way the world looks at a regular CV. So we said, what if we take up this concept and we actually just turn it on its head, right? Why don't we actually become the organization that will send you only those types of regular CVs which are like this, right? Why don't we create opportunities for women who are married with children or without children, women who have taken those breaks, women who attend PTAs, who go to the doctor's clinic, who are there for their children, who are also invested with elder care and child care, who have household chores. And yes, they take a lot of career breaks, but they are the regular women professionals who we, AVTAR, will represent. So that was the start of the movement. And what we did was we created India's first ever career service for women professionals, especially for women who had taken breaks in career, and this was in the year 2005. So we began talking to those women. We began interacting with them. We began having these conversations. I mean, you could call it research, but I just would prefer to call it conversations, honest conversations. The women began speaking to us, and we began listening to them. The women said, give us a network. We want to speak to each other. We want to know that we are not alone in this. There are other women like us. So the first network was created in 2005. The women then said, hey, you know what? One of the biggest problems for us not being able to continue working is because we don't have flexibility. So give us opportunities where we can work flexibly. So we created India's first flexi work program in 2008. Then the women said, you know what? It seems as if we are not skilled enough. We want more skills. We want to be up to speed with everybody else. We want to be up to speed with those young folks who have entered into the workplace now, with whom we have a 6-year career gap, but who seem to be knowing more than us. Please skill us. So we said we would create skilling sessions. That was in 2011. And then they said, you know what? We want lots and lots of jobs. We want a lot of jobs. We want to pick and choose. We don't want only those jobs which come to us because we are like some kind of a secondary class citizen. We want good jobs which will make us earn and make us contribute, and the break becomes insignificant. So we created jobs, and then we taught them how to pursue those jobs with intentional career paths. Intentional career pathing was launched in 2014. And then they told us, they said, you know what? You're doing a lot for the second career women. What about all women? What about all men? Why don't we make this workplace so inclusive of everyone, all different types of life choices? And why don't we make those corporates, you know, the kind of corporates who wanted that regular CV? Those types of corporates actually vie with each other to be the most inclusive workplace ever. So what we did, we created the Best Employers for Women initiative in 2016. This initiative, the Best Employers for Women initiative, what it has created is it has dramatically completely transformed the way organizations look at engaging with women, engaging and creating work-life integrated careers, which means you don't have to be regular in order to enjoy your work or your life. And that has actually resulted in all of this. 50,000 plus women, in fact, several lakhs of women have been impacted by the work that we do. A lot of organizations and plenty of workshops that we create. And 35,000 women, just like Saundarya Rajesh, are back into the workplace because of the work that we do at AVTAR. So what does this really mean? What does it mean? It means that when social entrepreneurship focuses on a problem and says that, hey, we must create a solution for this, I think it has to be deeply personal. And when it is deeply personal, it has that magical impact on the problem that we are trying to solve. And with respect to the engaging of women, the employing of more women in the Indian workplace, it's not very difficult at all. If in case you wish to create a second career program, if in case any organization wishes to have more women in your workplace, it's very simple. Make sure the jobs and job descriptions are gender neutral. Make sure that you share hard facts about the gender skew, the fact that you have such a low number of women in the Indian workplace today, just about 27% women's workforce participation as against about 82% men. This kind of a gender skew, which results not only in just the skew, in the ratio being different in the Indian workplace, but actually a gigantic gender pay gap. A huge difference between what women experience as the world and what men experience as the world. So let's educate people about the fact that this is happening. Let's identify and recognize successful second career women. They're not, anomalies. Plenty of them are there, not just the 35,000 that we have enabled. Hundreds of thousands of women are there who have taken those career breaks, but had to really strive and struggle and fight to make that re-entry into the workplace. Let's recognize them. Let's make sure that we celebrate those stories of people who had to take a tough choice and then were able to come back and do what they wish to do. Let's sensitize managers and leaders. Let's tell them that this world is so beautiful, that there is enough in it. It's a world of abundance, men, women, second career women, people of all different types of diversity strands, different generations, different sexual orientations, different types of ability. All of them are welcome. And this world will be a beautiful place if we are able to create work and jobs that will accommodate everyone. So let's sensitize managers and let us skill women. Why? Because breaks are a reality in this country. Till we have phenomenal daycare facilities, till we have great, roads, and time to work actually shrinks, till we have all of that, women will continue to take breaks. And let's just make that break irrelevant. Let's skill the women. Let's give them the message that the break is not the end of the world, that they can come back into the workplace and they can actually be regular people. And why must we do that? Because we are here to speak about re-innervating ideas. We are talking about taking up that part, and that's why I love this topic, taking up that part, a crucial resource, which has currently sort of gone into a suspended animation kind of thing, re-innervate it and bring it back. And when we re-innervate the Indian woman professional who's gone on a break, we are actually adding and contributing the economy, and we are transforming our nation. We are transforming India into a nation that's fully developed. Thank you so much.